Oh boy. Okay, so I am now playing freaking Skyforge right now. My big jiggly woman right here. Jiggle, wiggle, jiggle. Anyway, um, they have just come out with the new Revenant class. As this big bogey bastard is right here. Don't run away. Come back here. I'm about to give you a shield here. Have a shield. Be heavy. Enjoy the shield, the glow of the light. Yes. Anyway, um, okay. This is less of a I'm gonna play the game thing and more of I'm gonna complain about the game thing. Um, this is more of an informative video, really, as well, because I wanna people who actually care, who actually want to know how to play their freaking roles. Feel free to watch this video. Because that's one of the things about this darn game. I'm playing this on the PS4. This is one of the things about this darn game that pisses me the freak off. Now, you know what? How do I change my class? Lol, it's easy. That person's already gone. They can't see your comments anymore. Ugh. I'm over here complaining about everything right now. Okay, first off, let's go over to the Divine Observatory, okay? Divine Observatory is pretty much like the in-game hub. It's pretty much where a lot of the players and stuff show up and everything. Now, let me explain a few things about the game starting out, okay? When the game first came out, alright, they did not have the text chat system, alright? When the game first came out, they did not have text chat. If you wanted to chat with people, they had to be on your team. They also had to have a voice chat. They had to have a mic like I have. Alright, which most people would expect you to have a mic because the mic comes with the darn gang system. Or at least it's supposed to. Anyway. So, that thing, oh yeah, sorry, just noticed that. Anyway, I was standing like right in front of that little, anyway. Oh, you know, sorry. Anyway, basically, you couldn't talk with people unless they were on your team. Alright. Now, why was that, why the game was like that, I have no idea. But it made me realize, that's one of the things that made me realize that the devs of this game don't give a crap about group play. They don't give half a freaking crap about the group play in this darn game. I mean, seriously, they don't. Alright? Like, for real. Let's see here. Okay? Now, when you start the game off, you start off in this, they tell you that, this is the area, blah, blah, blah. They give you Dead Kid Island here. That's the first level that you go to and everything. Alright? You have all these classes on one. You have Paladin, you have the Cryomancer up here, and you have the Lightbinder as well. Okay? Those three classes are all unlocked. Alright? Right now, I am playing the Lightbinder. Okay? Lightbinder, then there's the Paladin right here. Alright, this is the tank class. Alright. Then zoom in on this darn thing. Oh, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Alright, this is the tank class right here. This is the Paladin. Got your little shield or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Your skimpy outfit if you're a girl. Alright. And then they have the Cryomancer. Alright. This is the Cryomancer, okay? Now, the Cryomancer is your damage dealer, of course. Now, as I was saying before, they didn't give a freaking care about how this darn team play worked. Right here is Hespilin Temple, whatever. Alright. When the game first came out, you could solo this darn dungeon. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go into it right now. I'm just gonna join it. I don't care. I'm not gonna be able to do it solo. That's not even the point. I'm just trying to let you see what the darn thing is. Alright. I can even pull up the map so you can see everything, because I've been through this darn thing so many times I can pretty much explain how it goes. Alright. So, this is Hespilin Temple. Alright. This is where you start off at level 70, or might 97, whatever. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be. I guess it's level 70. Probably about to be level 71, whatever. Alright. Now, starting off, this is the first boss right here. Okay. There's a little group of enemies right here. These are very easy, normal enemies to deal with, alright? You could pretty much just run in and just, like, totally wreck these dudes, no matter what type of characters you have on your team. Alright? Now, since I'm the only one in here right now, usually in the top left corner they will have this little thing, like a little box that has like everybody's names, everybody's health, you know, what roles they're playing. If you're playing the role of a tank, it'll have a shield up there. If you're playing the role of a support class, then it'll have this little charm thing that basically looks like the neck piece that Prince used to wear. If you're playing an attack class, then you have like a dagger beside your name. Okay, that's pretty much how they show up on the thing. Anyway, as I'll show you on the map, when the game first started, you could pretty much roll through this entire thing on your own. Okay, like literally, you could just like come in here, no matter what the class, and just fight through everything and pretty much beat it. You know, everything was pretty easy. All right. Then at one point they decided, you know, we're going to increase the difficulty and make it more difficult for people to get through it, so that it will actually require team play. Okay. Once they did that, the enemies over here were still difficult, like still easy to deal with. They were a bit more difficult, but you know, they were still pretty much easy to deal with. You could still run through them with no trouble. Once you got over here, though, there are these two dudes. There's actually 4 enemies over there. All right. 2 of them are support enemies that increase the damage of. Well, 2 of them are attack enemies. The attack enemies will go into like a rage mode where they'll run at you and keep swiping their arms and doing a crap ton of damage. Alright, then they have the support characters that will increase the damage that those guys do. They can also, the support guys can also like shoot these scythe beam, like scythe slash waves at you or whatever that do damage. Alright, but while they're increasing the damage of the other guys, they don't do any damage to you. They just, you know, make the other guys do more damage. Okay, now add to that, okay, because this is like, they made this thing more difficult. Add to that they made these guys pretty much do like tons of damage. They had tons of health, and they also had this buff, this AoE buff, where these skulls will show up, and the skulls will basically like, they appear at a random location and they fly towards your character. If your character got hit by the skull, it will do AoE damage, AoE explosive damage that will hit you and anybody nearby, and there was a chance that it will fear you and the person that it hits. Okay? Alright. Basically, they seriously made these dudes like really powerful, alright? These guys had that, alright? Then down here in this section, if you beat these guys, in this section there are like 3 or 4 guys that do crap tons of damage. Oh yeah, I forgot. The attacker guys here, they let's say you if they're running at you with a claw thing or whatever, and you get some distance from them, they can cancel out of that claw thing and then do this little jump slash thing, which does like a ton of freaking damage. It does a whole crap load of damage. Alright, so if you try to move away too far from them, they'll jump at you. If you stay too close to them, they'll just beat up on you. Alright. And of course, like I said before, the support guys were increasing how much damage they do. Alright, now over here, they had 3 guys that were damage dealers. They have these jump lunge attacks they would do. They don't do as much damage as the guys over here, but they still did a decent amount of damage. They had this really long charge up attack they would do, which would pretty much one-shot anybody on your team, except maybe the tank if the tank had a shield up. Alright. Then over here they had some support guys, a guy that does like a rushing charge attack. The guy who does the rushing charge attack is not really an issue. He's easy enough to deal with. I mean, he does this like his normal melee attack. He might be trouble, but usually he'll do that with his charge thing. It's really to see it coming. As long as you dodge out of the way, you're fine. You can just blast him from a distance or just beat up on him after he runs through it, does his little charge thing, because he'll like pause for a moment. Anyway, then you gotta worry about the support guys. And it also had another one of those damage dealing claw guys that you have on this area over here. So there were 4 enemies up here you have to deal with. Alright, now that's all the stuff you have to deal with before you get to this boss. This boss is this big thing, this big darn thing that has this guy, one of the like the support scythe dudes on top of it. He shoots his scythe at you. It's this thing crawling around. It has an ability where it'll yell or spit out this miasma stuff that can pretty much one-shot your entire group if you're in the wrong place. You just have to watch out for it. It doesn't do it very often, maybe once or twice during the entire fight. Then there's these, like, after you get to a certain point, it'll start dropping minor enemies, the same minor enemies that you have to deal with right here, but it'll constantly drop them over and over again. It'll drop a few of them, then it'll go back to patrolling around and attacking the group. It'll stop, it'll drop some more guys, and continue doing that until you defeat it. Alright. Over here is a bunch of smaller enemies. They're like the scythe guys, but they're as weak as the guys over here. Except for one guy who does a crap ton of damage. They're usually easy enough to deal with. Alright. Then up here, you're basically dealing with the exact same thing you have here. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot. Every time there's a scythe guy in the area, those skulls show up. So here the skulls show up that do the AoE damage and fear. Here the skulls show up that do AoE damage and fear. Here the skulls show up that do AoE damage and fear. Here the skulls show up. Here the skulls show up. Here the skulls show up. There's a minor boss fight here, like a mini boss fight here. On this little hallway section right here, there's a bunch of smaller enemies like the ones that are here. Go around this corner. Basically smaller enemies, and I think like 1 or 2 big enemies that are no skulls to worry about. Mini boss fight, and the last boss. Okay. Now, as you can see, you see these like little white spots right here. Alright, let's assume those are pillars, okay? In the middle of the room is the boss. He's the scythe guy, so obviously there are going to be these skull things popping up all over the freaking place, doing AoE damage, fearing people. Okay, not only that, this is the first, I'm talking about the first time they had this little update. This guy, basically, if you have your tank, if you're playing as the paladin here, alright, let's say you're playing as the paladin. Paladin has a charge ability you can use to run in and attack your enemy. Once you hit the enemy, it causes them to, catch aggro and they'll attack you directly, okay? Anyway, moving on. Let's say you decide, everybody is going to stay here and then the tank's going to run in and catch aggro. Okay, that's cool. Let's say you have somebody else on your team who also does melee damage or has to do close range damage, a sword, daggers, whatever. Alright, they have to run in and attack that guy. Okay, that's not cool, because when they first did the update to make this place much more difficult, they gave this guy this ability where if you got close to him, he would drop this AoE stuff on the ground, this AoE damage thing on the ground. So anybody who's a melee character or a close range character would take tons of freaking damage while they were standing on it. Not only that, he was do the scythe slash thing, or just in the wave of energy to hit people, and do that as well. And you have to worry about the skulls, alright? The entire time you're fighting this guy, you have to worry about the skulls that do AoE damage and fear, okay? Now, let's say you actually have a good team, okay? And everybody knows their roles and everything like that, which rarely ever happens in this freaking game because everybody gets carried. Moving on. There are pillars inside the room. Let's say your tank runs in there, hits the guy, he puts down the AoE thing on the ground, your tank decides he wants to lose line of sight so that the guy will get off the thing on the ground. If you do that, you basically run behind the pillar, he'll try to run after you and get you back in line of sight so he can attack you. That makes it easier for anybody else who's a very close range attacker to be able to fight him. Blah, blah, blah. Moving forward. Alright. Now, let's say you get past all that stuff. Then he has this big attack where he's like, you will not escape death. Alright? Once he does that, he's going to put his scythe in the air. He's going to stand there for a second or two. He's going to slam his scythe down. He's going to teleport to a random character in your group. Alright? I don't know if it's 100% random, because I think like if you're tanking properly, he'll always teleport to the tank. But anyway, he does this little teleport thing. Once he slams the scythe on the ground, it does an explosive AoE damage to anybody nearby, anybody in the room. Alright? What you're supposed to do is hide behind the pillar. Alright? Because he'll stand there for a second before he does the explosion. So you're supposed to hide behind the pillar, their damage is supposed to be either negated or reduced majorly. All right, and then you're supposed to run back out and start beating up on them again, and rinse and repeat, and so on and so forth. All right, it's supposed to be like a little tank and spank type deal. The tank should be able to stand out there if you use your abilities properly. He should be able to stand in front of the guy the entire fight if you use your abilities correctly. Anyway, basically, that explosion thing, it didn't matter where you were, whether you're behind a pillar or not. It would do a crap ton of damage. Usually, if you were right beside him, it would kill you. Partially because whenever he teleported, it would do an explosion of damage. When he started to teleport, it would do an explosion of damage when he got to the place. The first explosion would hit everybody. The second explosion would hit anybody who was like within I think 6 meters or something like that, which is not that huge, but at the same time, it's big enough so that if two people stand beside each other, they're going to get wrecked. All right. So basically, every time he did that, he would kill at least 1 or 2 people in your group. Every time. It didn't matter who it was. Tank, support, damage dealer. Usually somebody would die. All right. Now let's not forget that also that I think there's a chance that explosion will do fear as well. So if you're standing out in the open and he does the first one, it'll do fear, or there's a chance it'll do fear. And let's not forget that the skulls are still flying around that do AoE damage. And the skulls flying around, they do AoE damage and they fear you as well. And let's not forget about the fact that every time after he does this, after he does the little teleport thing, he'll put the little spot of death on the ground again. So anybody who's a melee attacker or anybody who's near him will start taking damage from the ground. All right, that's how that boss was when they first increased his difficulty. All right. They decided, okay, people started complaining, for real. It's understandable people started complaining. After people started complaining about that, all right, they decided they'd make him weaker. It didn't help. So they decided they'd make him weaker again. Still didn't help. So now he's pretty much as weak as as they made him.
New technologies for the defenders of Aelion. Go on, take them. It's part of my friendly assistance program.
All right, flavorless. Anyway. This is the very first dungeon. People run this dungeon all the time because if you do this dungeon, you basically get a new weapon every time. There's a chance you get a new weapon every time you defeat a boss. Yeah, I just got Argent's cool. So every time you defeat a boss, there's a chance to drop a new weapon that'll either be strong enough for your character or whatever. Let me get out of here because there's no reason for me to be in this mission. I can't do it alone. Alright, leave the adventure. Yes, sir. Alright, so that was a quick rundown of pretty much how that dungeon goes. But, man, this darn thing is freaking annoying, this game. There's so many things they did wrong. There's so many things that did wrong. Basic stuff that anyone who plays MMO should know about. First off, there are no healers in this game, okay? That's one of the big things. There are absolutely no healers in this game. Alright. Some people really expect there to be a healer. And nobody knows. People don't talk, they don't tell each other crap. They don't read. I hate it so much, man. Nobody knows how to play their roles. Nobody knows the fact that there's no healers in here. Everybody expects, and another thing is, that dungeon that I just showed you, people don't even play it properly. People don't even do teams properly in this game. Because you don't have to. Because the freaking devs screwed this game up. I have all the classes except for the freaking monk, okay? Don't even really need the monk. I'm not trying to spend money on getting the monk. I'm trying to save up these little in-game coin things so I can get the monk, and then I'll get the monk. Alright. The characters that people play pretty much all the time in dungeons, or the one that is specifically play all the time, is the outlaw. The outlaw is the ultimate spin-to-win character in this game, okay? Literally. When you first get the outlaw, whenever you get a new class in this game, you start off with no weapon, okay? This little thing right here, it's no, you have nothing there. It'll be just an empty slot, alright? As you can see, I got special weapons. But anyway, Anyway, um, but you have this ability here. It's like bullet rain or whatever. This ability, all right. Now, look at my health down here on the bottom left here. All right, I'm at 4 million health right now. Whatever. Okay. Under that is my energy bar. All right. When I'm outside of combat, my energy like regenerates pretty quickly. All right. So this is a what is it called? What is it? I can't remember the word right now. It's a channeled ability. Alright, this is a channeled ability, which means that it will constantly use up energy as long as I'm holding down the button, as long as I'm using the ability. You can move around with it, whatever, it doesn't matter. You don't have to aim it. It basically attacks all enemies within a certain area. Alright? So, as you can see, it's regenerating energy pretty quickly, okay? You know, it's getting energy back pretty fast. So I can sit here and do this for a decent amount of freaking time. Alright? Now let's say I'm actually fighting some enemies, so my energy back every time I kill an enemy. All right. Now, like I was saying before, this character, when you first get a character image, like it does a lot of damage without weapons. Okay, if you're just using basically, you know, just like your base damage without any upgrades or anything like that, this character does a ton of freaking damage. Okay. So you can just sit there and do this and do a crap load of damage. Alright, do a crap load of damage to enemies. As soon as you kill one, your energy goes up. While you're in combat, your energy doesn't recharge as quickly as it does. But even so, every time you kill an enemy, you'll get energy back. Every time. Alright? Now, let's say, you know, you feel like you're not doing enough damage. You hit this little button right here and throw out grenades. Alright? Grenades will bounce around. If they run into an enemy, they do a crap load of damage. Alright, let's say you just, you know, you're about to go into a fight. You just want to, you know, start it off with a heavy bit of damage. You just throw a grenade in there. You know, it recharges in like what? Look at that. By the time it explodes, it's pretty much recharged. You know, and then I can just run in there, running guns, spin around, spin, win, throw grenades. You know, keep going. You know, that's basically all you really need to do with this character. All right. Then you got your special attack. Use that, and you can just sit there and blast people. As long as you're hitting the target, the bullets will ricochet off the target and hit enemies around. Alright? It does a crap load of damage, and it has a really short cooldown. I got 30 seconds left for this. It's an ultimate ability. Alright? Some of the ultimate abilities in the game take like 10 minutes to freaking recharge. Not this one. Alright? Now, let's see here. What else? You got go into your dueling stance right here, which gives you like another set of abilities and stuff like that. I'm not even gonna get into that because that's too complicated to worry about. And you got this one is like a freaking like OP freaking like one-shot ability right there. Alright, and of course if you just hold down R2, you just keep shooting in a single target. Alright, but really most of the time all you use is this. Okay. Now, if I were to go, like, right now they got the Revenant, so there's a lot of people trying to play the Revenant, trying to level it up and everything like that. But usually when you go into the Hepsilon Temple thing and you just do like a normal run, you will get somebody who's playing an Outlaw. Okay? Now, let's say the fact that, you know, you have this ability which does a whole ton of damage. Let's not forget that you can turn into a god. You can go to god form, alright? Which increases how much health you have, how much defense you have, how much damage you do. It increases everything by a ton. So you just do that and you spin to win through the entire freaking dungeon. Nobody gets to really do anything except for when you get to bosses, where the bosses will last an extra few seconds than the rest of the enemies in the freaking dungeon. You know? And if you have more than one person playing an Outlaw, then you're just being carried. You're seriously, you just get carried by Outlaw. Outlaw is the character that if you want to freaking carry people, just use Outlaw. And look at this. I mean, and this is exactly what I mean with they don't care about people. They don't care about whether or not people play teams on this thing. They don't care about team play in this game. Because one of the things they just gave people is the weapon right here. Eternal Darkness and Endless Night. Alright? Accurate shot effect is no longer consumed when sure shot is used, and additionally is increased the damage of dodge that, and rapid shower by 10% for each level of the effect. Okay, honestly, I don't know what any of that crap means. I really don't. But for one, it increases your range damage, all range damage, by 65 freaking %. Okay, that's just with the weapon on its own. All right. Then you add these extra. I don't even know what the rest of this extra stuff does. I really don't. What is it? Accurate shot. that is? I don't even know. Whatever. Look, they just made this character even more OP than it already freaking is, basically. Alright? Not even with God form, okay? So yeah, you'll see people playing the freaking outlaw all the time. I never play outlaw. You know, the only reason why I got those weapons is because you get it and it goes with the Berserker has a cool weapon that comes with them too. This big thing right here. Alright. Berserker really needed a freaking weapon in my opinion, because I don't really see many people use a Berserker like at all. Alright, Berserker like does, I don't know. They don't really do as much damage as you expect them to do. They look freaking cool and everything like that. The outfit is skimpy, the boobs jiggle, it's okay. But seriously, you know, I don't really see many people playing this during class. Alright, moving forward. They just screwed up so many darn things in this game. They screwed up so many darn things. People refuse to play, like if you get a normal team, people will not play the tanks, they will not play support. You know, and then when they got somebody who actually plays tank and support, vote for, vote against. What the hell is this? Am I even in a group? I'm not trying to join a group. What was that? Hold on. What was that? Because I just saw something talking about a vote. Is that from my Pantheon? Are there actually people in my Pantheon doing stuff right now? I'm on voice chat. Commander chat. General Pantheon chat. What the freak? Hello? Ain't nobody in here. What the freak? Ain't nobody in this bastard. Can I change my volume? I can't even change my volume. Context me. Show profile. Whatever. I don't even know what all this stuff is. I don't even know. How can I mute and unmute myself? That makes no sense. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. Did I just turn off the music to the game? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, they screwed up this game so much in so many different ways. Now, the other night, I actually got to play a 10-man dungeon. Alright, which is literally, it's literally a dungeon where you actually have to know what the freak you're doing. Alright? Outside of the 10-man dungeons, you can basically run through anything in any way. It doesn't matter. You pretty much you can choose almost whatever you want to, as long as you're smart enough to actually know how to deal damage and keep yourself the freak alive. Alright? You can pretty much play anything you want in this game. Alright? Dungeon running with team is pretty much doesn't require any type of real mental thought. Alright, if you're just a casual person that wants to play the game, guess what? This is a great game for you, because you don't have to know how to do any freaking thing. You don't have to read your abilities or anything. Sheesh, freaking game, man. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off. It really does, man. It's like the only time I actually played a dungeon, a 5-man dungeon that actually, you know, was worth playing was when they made the dungeon so freaking hard, know why they wanted to play it. You know, but now that they have the 10-man stuff out, you know, the 10-man dungeons and everything, and there's people who actually do those, you can't join them. Like, you basically it's like, you know, they will, and it's so stupid because of how people decided they want to do stuff on the game. Like I said before, people will carry people all the time. All right, they carry teammates all the time in this darn game. All right, and they'll carry people through this entire map thing, all the way to the end, let them get their god form, and then they'll have them join them on these dungeons and stuff, and they'll boost them up level, and then when people get to the 10-mans, and they don't know what the hell they're doing because they don't read their freaking information on their abilities, people carry them through everything, and they're trying to go do high level stuff. People get pissed off at them because they don't know what they're doing. Well, guess what? You done carried them all the way up there, and now you want to drop them off and tell them that they're supposed to be geniuses. It doesn't work that way. Freaking goofballs, man. It gets on my freaking nerves. How the devil are you supposed to actually team with people? And you'll sit there and you'll be like, oh, I can't find anybody to team with. This person's high enough. Let's just get this random person. Oh, well, we need somebody who can tank. I don't know how to tank. I never really played tank. I didn't have to tank because blah, blah, blah. Somebody carried me up here or whatever like that, you know. Or I don't really usually play tank. I usually play damage dealer. And I usually play healer. But they don't have a healer in this game. They only have support. So I don't want to play support because it's not a healer. People complain of so many different reasons for why they don't do so many different things. And it is so freaking annoying. It really is. I hate the fact that I got a rant about this, but I really need to, man. Cause I try my best to be quiet about this stuff. Cause I don't want to be annoying for one. Two, I don't want to dwell on it. All right. But every time you get on the game, all right. First thing you do, if I get on the game, usually I'll go and play a dungeon. Just try to go play a dungeon. You know, go in here. I'll go to the little alien thing right here. Go to group, and usually I'll do Hespelin Temple because the rest of these darn dungeons, people don't do them. People don't do these darn dungeons. All right, you see, like on the picture right here, you see how it has the little sword over right there, and it has the little necklace looking thing, and then that little like horn looking thing, and then that blue thing or whatever. Those are the things that you get basically from doing this mission. These are the things that are supposed to pop up or drop whenever you do this temple, whenever you do this thing. Alright? Right now, I pretty much have all the weapon and gear I need for all my different classes and stuff. What I need though are I need the little yellow thing here, I need the necklace thing, all of these little things here that are on these other missions, and you don't get them because people refuse to do them. Hello, person who just showed up. You're probably gonna leave in a second. That's fine, whatever, man. I'm basically ranting right now. That's basically all I'm doing. This game has pissed me off. It has really pissed me off. I'm really upset with it. You know, and it just kills me. It really kills me. Because so many people will be like, oh yeah, we need blah 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 on our team. We need people to do hard mode. You know, you gotta level up to a certain level to be able to even do hard mode. And people get into hard mode and they can't play it. They can't play the darn thing. They can't play anything. Because people will carry them all the way up to the freaking harder missions, and then they don't know what the freak they're doing. All right. And now that people who actually do know what they're doing have at least a small groups of people who they know they can count on, they don't want to play with anybody else. They don't want to play with anybody else. They don't want to talk to anybody else. They don't want to help anybody else. They don't want to tell anybody else how to do stuff. All right. So that's basically how this game went. Okay. The game started off super freaking easy. First dungeon was super freaking easy. All the other dungeons were pretty easy. Then they decided they want to do an update. Dungeons got more difficult. Alright. After the dungeons got more difficult, they decided they wanted to, making them a little bit easier, blah blah blah. Alright. After they made the dungeon, seriously, they made the dungeons so difficult even outlaws couldn't do them. It was so freaking amazing. I actually that was one of the things I loved about the fact that it was so freaking difficult. That the outlaw couldn't just come in there and freaking run and gun and spin to win. This darn bastard. Yeah, I was happy about that. That was one thing I was definitely happy about. But there's so many things, man. So many things they just did wrong with this darn game. So many darn things. And when I start explaining one thing, I always think of something else, and it just messes up my whole the whole flow of me trying to explain the one thing because there's something else that connects to it, and it just pisses me off. It pisses me off and messes me up from being able to explain it properly. Sheesh. One of the things they don't explain they give you the 3 different classes, alright? The Triforce, the basic Triforce of MMOs, alright? The damage dealer, the quote-unquote healer, or support in this game, alright? And then the tank, okay? So, basically, they do have the basic Triforce to a degree, okay? Now, most of the classes they have in this game are damage dealers, alright? Looky here. They have 2 support classes, that's the Alchemist and the Lightbinder, alright? Then they have the 2 tank classes, which is the Knight and the Paladin. The rest of these are all damage dealers. The rest of them are damage dealers. Alright? and some of them are somewhat of a mix. All right, like the Cryomancer is all damage. It's all damage all the time. All damage output. Damage output. You have an ice shield to protect yourself with every so often, but the rest of your abilities are pretty much damage. All right. Now kinetic is like, it's kind of like damage slash support. All right. The kinetic can put up shields and slow down enemies and so on and so forth, do different things like that. That's what the kinetic does. The necromancer is basically all damage output. I think the witch is basically damage output slash support, debuffs or some crap like that. The berserker is supposed to be all damage output, melee range damage output. Okay. Somewhat crowd control though, because a lot of the abilities that the berserker does, if you hit the enemy with it, it'll stop them from attacking or knock them in the air, or it'll basically like, you know, it'll have like basically like a stun lock ability. That's what pretty much what berserkers do. All right, but usually it's like single target, not multiple target. The revenant seems to be kind of like the damage dealer and kind of like a mix of everything, to a degree. Mostly more tanky than anything. Well, more tanky than support class, but all mostly damage dealing. All right. Then we have the freaking Slayer, which is, I don't even know. I don't know if the Slayer is supposed to be like tanky or, I don't know. The Slayer can just make yourself freaking invincible. All right. You can just like, you can go invisible. You don't take any damage. You can attack while you're invisible. You know, crap like that. You know, the Slayer is interesting and complicated, but mostly damage. I haven't played the Monk. I haven't played the Monk like at all, but I heard the Monk is really fun to play. I want to get it, but not right now. The Archer is basically all damage output, but the damage output takes a lot of time to ramp up, or so I was told. The Gunner is pretty much the same thing as the Archer, but much more tanky because you actually have armor plating and shielding or whatever that goes with your character. And the Gunner is just spin to win. That's basically what the Gunner is. You just like get on the Gunner, hold down one button and kill everything, and just spin around shooting bullets. That's pretty much how each one of these darn classes goes. This darn game, man. You know, and like I like the game. It could be much better. It could be much better if they actually, you know, put in the time and freaking effort for this darn thing, man. Like you can tell the devs don't care. You can tell they just don't care. All right. And like some of the things that they did are kind of cool, like this thing. Let me see here in Greece how this all goes. Make this one better. Aww. Come on. There you go. This song is actually rocking. I'm gonna turn off my mic here. Alright, that's enough of that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into an actual group in Hepsilon Temple. Um, go to the group finder. I'm just gonna pick everything. It don't matter. That's what everybody. I'm sure that's what everybody does. Pick everything just so they can get in there, and then they just go and play a damage dealer. That's how it always turns out. All right. Usually, I just go ahead and play my role, and like you can tell people actually want me to play the role that I actually supposed to. I'm not just supposed to be playing. Like if I get a tank role, I actually choose a tank, and I'll play as tank. If I get support, I'll actually choose a support, play a support. You know, it's funny seeing people actually like react like they don't even say anything, but you can tell by how they're playing that they're happy that there's somebody actually in there who knows how to play their freaking role. All right, and like if I'm tanking, like because I've tanked as a both paladin and as a knight, and in my opinion, there it's like okay, let me come over here again real quick. So, the way the knight works is far different. Like it's far different from like many of the tanking characters I've ever seen. Like really is. Oh yeah, once I start the dungeon, I'm just going to I'm gonna just straight up turn off my mic because I don't know if I don't want to do like have to worry about people just like complaining about me talking and everything like that. So let's say I'll decide I'm gonna go ahead and play as the tank. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna be a knight. All right. Knights basically work off defensive shielding. Okay. They really need their shielding because they take a crap ton of damage. They really seem to take a crap ton of damage. Which is really weird because they seem to have the most defensive abilities. Um, like for example, okay, let me go to Lightbinder. Not Paladin. I'm gonna go to Paladin because Paladin is the one that everybody starts off with. Okay. What the freak? Where are my abilities? This is weird. I don't have any abilities. What the freak? I don't have any abilities. I'll break it. Okay, there go my abilities there. Go back to Paladin. Yo, what the freak? How come I don't got no abilities? Okay, that was weird. Alright, whatever. Okay, now they're back. Anyway. Alright. So, basically, the Paladin has two defensive abilities, okay? You have a shield, much like what the Lightbinder gives you. As you can see, it's very similar. It's almost the exact same thing. Alright. And then, after that goes away, you have this thing. Alright. Now, as you can see, when you put the shield up, it shows like a light beam or whatever that hits your shield. That light beam will actually bounce off your shield and hit another person on your team. Okay? When that happens, that person becomes like, basically like, let's see if I do this one. As you can see, they actually get like a shield or whatever. Okay? It only lasts 4 seconds, but you're invincible for those 4 seconds. You don't take any damage from anything. Alright? If you time it properly, you can pretty much like, you can use that ability to eat a really high damage attack from an enemy or a boss. Alright? Now, those are the only two defensive abilities I've seen on the tank. Okay? I've seen on this character. You can also use your R1, your L2 select, L2's R1 ability, and that basically like it's supposed to be like a freaking overpowered Hail Mary, like you jump in the air and come down and land on the enemy, do damage, blah blah blah. Alright. Those are what those abilities are supposed to do. I think one of these. Does that increase your... No, that doesn't. Yeah. So yeah, basically you only have 2 shield abilities when you come to using Paladin, but the Paladin seems to be a lot more tanky than the freaking Knight. It's weird. So if I switch over to Knight, now the Knight actually has a few freaking defensive abilities. Like you do one attack and then you hit the triangle. If every enemy you hit, it's supposed to give you like extra shielding or some crap like that. Alright. Then they have this circle thing. You can take any damage from this. As long as you have that shield up, whatever damage you were taking while you get that shield, it actually bounces back to enemies. So a boss can hit you with like an ability that will literally one-shot you. As long as you have that shield up when he hits you with that attack, you'll absorb it and send it back to him. It's freaking crazy. Alright, not only that, if you hit triangle, once you use like some of your energy, this gives you a shield of some type as well. Okay, not only that, if you hit this L2 and circle, you get an extra shield. Like it reduces how much damage you take, and if you use this, it gives you a shield. Okay, and you can also do this little spin around thing, and that gives you some defensive stuff too. For all the extra defensive abilities and stuff that you get with this, I mean, you can even bring yourself back to life if you die with this darn character. Okay, but all the defensive stuff you get with this freaking character, for some reason, this character seems a ton squishier, much squishier than the freaking Knight. I mean, seriously, I've seen people run in with Knight just using it to do damage, and this character gets wrecked faster than the freaking Knight. I don't understand it. I mean, not the Knight, the Paladin. I really don't get it. I really don't. And for some reason, I'm not catching a queue for this darn dungeon right now. Okay, so this one starting. Group finder. Let's see if it'll actually do so. I don't know. But like, Knight is actually pretty cool. I like the Knight and everything like that, but like this darn thing is freaking squishy. It's much squishier than the Paladin. At least it seems that way. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not playing the darn thing right. You know, even though I like actually sat down and read how to do everything on this darn character. Man. Oh, and it has me playing the support. Anyway, I'm turning off my mic. Yeah.
Another one of my ingenious creations. A little something to help you out. From fluff to glove.
was a dungeon. I didn't feel like just sitting there, just like freaking just wasn't God form or whatever. This game is really not worth like watching. Like I don't play PvP, so if people come in here looking for PvP matches, they're gonna be sorely mistaken. They're gonna be like really disappointed. Seriously. Like you know what? I think what I'm going to do now, I'm gonna do some directives of the gods. Directives of the Council of Gods. Let's find a group for that. Let's see if I can actually get a group. Figure out what no wonder. I want to see something here. This quest, Dark Ritual. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Alright. Do Dark Ritual. And I'm going to skip the quest. Alright. Use a stimulant to skip the quest. Does that mean, do I still get the stuff from it? Do I still get the outfit or no? Because I don't think I do. No, it doesn't give me the outfit. Oh, here's the other weapon. Okay, here's the other weapon. Come up here, some stuff. Okay, so the blue ones are basically the ones that are best. Whatever. Crushing Pain Axe. Infinite Darkness Pole Axe. Infinite Darkness Pole Axe. Let's sell that one. Now we have the Eternal Torment Pole Axe. Damage to shields. See, this is more like a damage type character then. This is more like a damage, or I will say more like a PvP type character then. Like I think this one, the freaking Slayer, are more along PvP lines. But if you got like, maybe this character would be good against that boss we were having trouble with the other night. I mean, this character attacks kind of slow, but 120% increased damage to shields. Man, that is nice. All right, Staff of Doom. All right. Yeah, crash site. All right. Well, since I'm doing the damage roll, that means I can play as the Revenant. Yay. Anyway, turn it off, Mike.
strong troop of the Reapers of Death is approaching. Attack from the north. Attack from the west. Attack from the east. Attack from the west. Attack from the north. Attack from the east. Attack from the west. Attack from the north. Attack from the east. A strong troop of the Reapers of Death is approaching. from the west. Attack from the north. Attack from the east. Attack from the west. Attack from the north. Attack from the east. Attack from the west. A strong troop of the Reapers of Death is approaching.
Actually care about Skyforge somewhat or if I can, I wonder if I can. I wonder if, how many, what components do I have? Resourceful, wow. There ain't no way I'm getting enough sparks of transformation. I'm not getting that tonight. I have to, like, I need another 10,000 sparks of transformation. Well, another 9,000 sparks of transformation in general. 9,100. So that means I would need to do, because every 1,000 I have to do, I have to do 2 whole sets of the directives. So I have to do 18 directives. No. So what was it? Where am I at right now with everything? So I'm trying to get 10. So I have to do, because I get 1,000. So I have to do 20 directives. 20 sets of directives almost. Probably like 18 sets of directives. That'll give me the 9,000. Wow. So basically you just gotta keep doing directives of God and all that stuff like that over and over again. So I got enough to do that for this thing. So I'm going to my capital. I haven't been to my capital. Oh crap, I didn't do that. Go to there, get money. I forgot I got like crystals and stuff now. I'll probably buy another mountain. Don't care about. Quests. Yeah, whatever. Can I upgrade this? I need 500. So I need to. So I need to do stuff so much. Oh yeah, I forgot about my what's my phone this too. I keep forgetting about all this other little stuff. I've been sent y'all on the journey for a freaking ever. Go on journey, give me more faith. So I can turn into God mode more. Power. So I'll go check see what color. Yeah, for this one. Let's see what outfit color. All black. All black. All black. Oh, brown. Whatever. That's what I really that thing. Bam. This looks like a mouth. No way I got enemies as a trophy. All that nonsense.
What? Decided to move to the capital, under the Immortal's wing?
It wasn't my decision, but I don't mind.
Your wife decided it.
As if. It was Templar Captain. We were
Oh, she's the
evacuated 2
director.
days ago. They came in the morning, roused everyone, and told us to start packing.
Oh, wow. Your village was so quiet.
I need to do these
There
more
weren't
often.
even
I
any
got me a
remnants
freaking
around.
purple weapon from this crap. So I
So
need to
you
switch
were
up and do
attacked?
something else. Play a different character.
Not quite.
I'm
It
playing
was
with Archer.
foggy the day before, but the fog was really strange, green and foul smelling. It was making everyone dizzy. We thought it came from the swamps. I remember the cauldrons that reapers placed everywhere.
What for?
Poisonous smoke comes out of them and kills everything around it, but I didn't think much of it. Yes, I should have started
Damage.
packing right away. We were in
Damage
such a
from
hurry.
combat
I left
starts.
too many things
Fair
behind.
amount.
So the green smoke was coming out of
Bonus
the
target
cauldrons.
resistance. 18%.
It was. I gather they evacuated us a couple hours before the attack.
Everyone abandoned the village?
Of course not. More than half stayed behind. Said they won't give it up without a fight.
So, oops.
And where did they take you? Not Aelin,
Okay.
surely.
So I'm gonna keep doing the directors right now. Aside.
It's as if you're seeing something else that you need. I'm sorry. I didn't know. But why?
I don't think it really changes. Oh yeah, I said all that. Okay, so that's it for the stream. I pretty much mostly just wanted to rant about this damn game. I still didn't even go over all the stuff that they did wrong with it. This is like so many things. You know, like I said, one thing leads to another, and all it just like pissing me off. So I'm not worried about it. So thank you guys for coming in, whoever did come in, and that's it. I guess I'll end it after this.
From Flavius with love, so to speak.
Attack from the west. Attack from the east. Attack from the west. Attack from the east. Attack from the east. Attack from the west. Attack from the north. A strong troop of the Reapers of Death is approaching. from the west. Attack from the north. Attack from the north. Attack from the west.